San Francisco. So they won the game 24-21 over the Green Bay Packers, and it was far from pretty. It was far from what I thought it'd be. I had San Francisco 31-16. I thought this would be a game where they kind of controlled throughout. McCaffrey was good. Purdy working out of the play action. To kind of a typical Niners win. They controlled throughout. Man, listen, some of the games, they just smack teams like Dallas and Jacksonville and Philly. And then some games, like some divisional games, Arizona, Seattle, they just kind of slowly, gradually pull away. But in this one, it was a dogfight. And not that they're not capable of winning dogfights, because they are, because they have a great roster and a very physical style of football, physical brand of football. But my question about Brock Purdy. See, I've always been, I loved Purdy from the jump. I've called him Sturdy Purdy since late 2022. I really like this kid a lot. I ventured into loving Purdy when they blew out Dallas. I'm like, dang, look at his numbers. Look at the throws he's making. Like, man. But 3-game losing streak. They play from behind. He's not good playing from behind. Then they have the loss to Baltimore, who smokes them, and Purdy looks completely overwhelmed, which hindsight's 2020 in his defense. They kind of overwhelmed Stroud at times. We know Stroud had a great season this year, so a little pass for Purdy. But that 3-game losing streak, close games, just couldn't play from behind. Couldn't play out of structure, so to speak. That was my question. I don't fall in the Purdy stands, and I don't fall in the Purdy haters. Both kind of get on my nerves to a certain extent. Okay, I don't think Purdy's as good as some people say. I don't think he's bad as other people say. I got him right in that top 12 category, around that situation, around like the Kirk Cousins area, which is not a shot because Kirk's a darn good quarterback. If you put Kirk in San Francisco, they go a long ways. Again, that's not a shot at Purdy either. But that was my question. Could he play from behind? Well, Packers missed the field goal. Anders Carlson, who Matt LaFleur, according to Tom Rinaldi, said that he prays when he comes out there to kick. That's not great. I mean, Carlson had missed more kicks than anybody this season, so the miss comes as no surprise to anybody. But Purdy's got the ball from his own 31, 6:18 to go. Yeah, this is it. You're down 4. Field goal does you no good. 6 minutes to go. This is ideal circumstances. Ideal circumstances for a game-winning drive. It's like, Purdy, what you got? Debo's hurt. It's nasty weather. The other team's playing with momentum. Frankly, your coach hasn't called the greatest game ever. Kyle Shanahan had a rough outing. Matt LaFleur coached circles around him, and I never thought I'd say those words, but he did. Kind of got to overcome some stuff. That's called NFL quarterbacking, and I wasn't sure if Purdy could do that. And here's what he did. We'll show you the drive. He has money. So here's the first one. It's play action. He's going to hit Jawan Jennings here, my man out of Tennessee. Go Vols. Jawan's going to get a few yards after the catch. There he goes, the first play. Here's the second play. Little dump off to McCaffrey. Okay, let's get some going. Little check down. Let's get what we can here. Take what the defense gives us. The 3rd and 5, though, is the best throw he made. We're going to show it twice. It's so nice. We got to show it twice to Ayuk. Look at that. Just threading the needle right there to Ayuk over the middle. One more time. Bam. Perfect throw by Purdy. Next play is another gorgeous throw to Conley, number 84, the receiver Conley. Perfect. Perfectly thrown ball. Then the next one, he uses his leg, or not, I'm sorry, that's the one after that. Then he hits Kittle. There's Kittle open. He hits him under pressure, by the way. Pressure coming out the middle. He hits Kittle. Then the next one, Purdy does what Jimmy could never do. Jimmy Garoppolo, move in and out of the pocket. See nothing's there. Let's use my legs. I'm going to use my legs, see what I can get. And then, of course, at the end, Mr. Christian McCaffrey does what he's done a lot, and that's score touchdowns, and he finishes it off right there with what ended up being the game-winning score. We could show you Purdy's numbers. Again, this graphic provided by my man Alfred Parsar Jr. We could show you the graphic. Purdy's last drive. 6 for 7, completed about 85% of his passes, 47 pass yards, 11 rush yards, 3 first downs, and again, 12-play, 69-yard game-winning drive. The questions I had about Purdy, not just can he win playing from behind, he went the extra mile. He played from behind without everybody there. We saw Deebo Samuel missed a lot of time in that 3-game losing streak. Didn't look like the same offense. Now, it didn't look like the same offense for 3.5 quarters, but really what Purdy did was like the reverse Josh Allen. Josh was amazing through 3.5 quarters and was not good at all in the last 6, 7.5, or 8, really. Purdy was, I'm going to be nice today because I'm complimenting the man, mid, to use a Gen Z term, mid through, the 3.5 quarters of action. But when they absolutely needed him to come up big, he did. Those throws to Ayuk and to Conley, especially the Ayuk throw, just that's 3rd and 5. 3rd and 5, about 3-4 minutes to go. You got to fit that into a tight window. Otherwise, it's 4th and 5. There's a lot of pressure if you don't get it. Playoffs. It's raining. It's wet. The other team's playing with momentum. No Deebo Samuel. And he didn't blink. And he did blink in the 3 games before that against Cleveland, Minnesota, and Cincinnati. Saturday night, he said, I got this. I got this. Well, let me take y'all to the finish line here and let Christian, let our best offensive player finish it off. Shout out to Brock Purdy. I have really liked this kid from day one. Y'all remember when they beat Tampa Bay, he came in, Garoppolo got hurt. He came in, played pretty well against Miami, and then they played his very first start as against the greatest quarterback ever, Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, and the Niners win 35-7. Purdy plays amazing, and this is for the Purdy lovers. Like, here you go. Like, this is what or the Purdy stands would be a better way to put it. This is kind of what I've said is, I think the kid's really good. I think he's a top 12 guy. I mean, we see his numbers. His pass ratings off the charts and pass yards and touchdowns and all that. They're great. Passer rating, completion percentage. But can he come through when it matters most when circumstances aren't ideal? Well, that's exactly what he did. That's exactly what he did. Now, he wasn't great through 3.5 quarters, which is why I don't elevate him into that elite level. But is he in the really, really good level? No doubt about it. No question. That and for the Purdy haters, like, oh, they're just doing with him what they did with Jimmy G. Like, ask him to not lose the game. Jimmy's been bad in these situations. You remember that drive against, remember that they blew a 10-point lead to the Rams? They blew a 10-point lead to the Chiefs. You know, Jimmy Garoppolo did get the ball in those situations and couldn't capitalize. And for the record, you look at the advanced analytics. We don't have time to get into that today, but if you look at Purdy completion percentage on throws outside the numbers compared to Jimmy, ain't even close. Purdy on 20 or more yards down the field. Jimmy G barely attempted throws of 20 or more yards down the field. Shanahan trusts him more. Now, my criticism of Kyle, then I'll get into the Packers. My criticism of Kyle, again, you heard me say, I thought he called a pretty poor game. And this has been something that's kind of been his bugaboo, especially in playoff games. We remember when he was the OC back in Atlanta when they lost to the Patriots in the infamous 28-3 comeback by New England. He was the offensive play caller. What did he do? He deviated from the run. 2020 against Kansas City, deviated from the run. Now, to a certain extent, I kind of get why he did it against the Chiefs. They didn't get a ton going in the run game through the stage of that game, so I sort of get what he was doing. But he has a tendency to not adjust terribly well. Like, here's the thing about Kyle Shanahan. He is an A+++ play designer and play caller, especially to start a game. He's kind of a C-level adjuster, an adapter. He's not like Mike McCarthy bad, but he kind of just, this is what we're doing. This is what we've done the whole game, and I'm really not going to change it. Well, that's fine when you have the best roster in the league and you're blowing somebody out. But if another team's playing you blow for blow, toe-to-toe, it's not going to be quite as smooth sailing. And that's what happened through the vast majority of the game. But credit to Shanahan, he dialed up the plays when he had to. Purdy did. But again, I don't love, again, I call Purdy really good, not great. Top 12. I don't love 39 attempts. And by the way, Jordan Love attempted 34 and threw the 2 picks. So props to, now Purdy tried to throw that pick 6 to Savage. Savage got Dak last week. He almost got Purdy in this game, but shout out to Brock Purdy. That was my concern. Can he play from behind when things aren't ideal? And by the way, I'm seeing people move the goalposts. Well, what about being down double digits? No. Let's be consistent on this. Let's be consistent. He was down 4, wet weather, other teams playing with momentum. Defense has been good. He's been shaky. He overcame that mentally. Deebo Samuel gone. And made all the throws he had to. We'll show the stats one more time on the game-winning drive. 6 for 7, 45 pass yards, 11 rush yards, and 3 first downs to lead a 12-play, 69-yard game-winning drive. That's what you asked him to do, and he did it. Shout out to Brock Purdy, man. He came through. Sturdy Purdy. See, I never called him elite Purdy. I never called him great Purdy, or strong as a rock, or strong as a rock Brock or something. But he sure is sturdy Purdy, and he came through. And that's what they needed. Thanks so much for watching the show on YouTube, and be sure to go click that big red subscribe button and check out the other clips and full shows from Carving It Up Live, as well as our other incredible content creators here on the Grid Network.